And welcome everyone to what I'm calling now Pokemon Cards Episode 2. So, this is basically sort of a series sequel to the one video, Pokemon Cards opening from 3 months ago. However, so what I'm going to do is once a month, I've mentioned this before, I'm going to do a quote-unquote live action thing, or, a thing that's not a game. So, or I'm going to record a session of, because, I'm going to have a couple more episodes than just this. But, so I plan on doing, a Pokemon cards thing. So, for the first few sessions, it's going to actually be, I guess, I'm going to say showing up, but really, personally, it's for cataloging, I guess, my collection, or what's left of it, because, so I have had 4 books worth, or binders that had 30 little pages, of the little baseball card holders or whatever. Yeah, and I left it because summer vacation or whatever, freshman year to sophomore year. And I just left it at home with my mom, and then somehow she's lost it. Just the 3rd book. So what's funny enough, that's 4th gen. My favorite generations cards are all in there. So I'm missing a good 200 cards or whatever, something like that. I'm missing out quite a few cards basically. So until we find that, I'm gonna right now show off all the cards that I have. I'm not going to do, unless people want me to. I do have a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then one starter set of Magic the Gathering. I am willing to extend into those cards if people want them to. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be doing Pokemon. Once I show off all my collection right now, then I'll be going back to opening cards, starting with, if I can find it, 10 booster packs of the original 1995 series of cards, which I do have a couple of those because of reasons. But yeah. And then after that, I think I'm going to do a creepypasta reading, followed by an SCP reading, because I consider those two different things, even though apparently SCP, from what I understand, is actually part of, or at one point was creepypasta, but isn't anymore. So I'm gonna do those, and then so that should be, assuming I do actually do stuff, November's and then December's special video. And then I'm still thinking of doing a cooking video, since I've actually done a quote-unquote face reveal, that one thing, which I guess would have been August thing, wouldn't it have? Guess really only July and maybe June. I don't think I've done actual non video game things, even though this is kind of a video game thing. But anyways, I plan on doing that, and I'm actually a little bit more professional this time, compared to, just in case you're interested, compared to when I began. Considering I no longer have my phone sitting on a, I don't think I showed it off, but I'm not going to, I don't think. But on a selfie stick. Basically, the first video of this, I had my phone, on a selfie stick, being held up by a cord, being like a charging cord or whatever, being taped to the wall, and then having it the base of it stuck between 2 textbooks. I'm not doing that anymore. I have an actual table frame, not a table frame, but I don't know what you'd call it, an arm basically, this big clamp that kind of looks like a trap bench actually, that is stuck to the table, and then it has a big arm that then goes to a holder for the phone, which then has the phone on it. And I actually have the phone charging this time instead of having it die in the middle of the video. Because if you didn't know, I think in 40 minutes I think, or something like that, my phone died, and I was super worried that I lost everything because kind of destroyed the whole card opening thing. But anyways, So this is gonna be called Pokemon cards from now on. If I'm opening a like series or whatever, so whatever the 1995 series would be called, and then you know how they have various things like what was previous one? Still the player's guide here. Forbidden Light. Yeah. It'll be called that, and I will do another Forbidden Light thing eventually, maybe. When the ninth generation comes out. Which is not really that much of an exaggeration, considering I'd be doing once every possibly 4 months a Pokemon card opening. Mostly just because it's going to cost like $200, $300 just to do the video on the first card series, so yeah. Because I want them to be unopened, of course, so that's going to be quite the price. If not $1,000, actually, it wouldn't surprise me that much, even though I'm only looking for specifically 10 booster packs. But anyways, let's start this thing. So I have everything set up by its number. You can see Bulbasaur, first Pokemon in the Pokédex. So, and then how I generally organize things is, let's see, a bit of a spoiler, I guess. Yeah. So, you'll have to forgive me if I keep on, stopping every so often, just so I can make sure that everything is, being seen. So, I'll go with, like, first of all, I'll subdivide by, so, everything is in order of Pokedex. And then, I'll subdivide by, starting with HP, so the higher HP, well, it goes 60 HP, and then cards that are 50 HP, cards that are 40 HP, it's an Ivysaur. And then, for, like, the early cards, or early Pokemon, so I think I have, like, a couple cards in 3rd gen, or did, and then mostly just 1st gen, that are these weird, like, Pokemon anime things. See, that's to tie up. Yeah, Pokemon anime things, which I will read the back of it, so, yeah. I don't know. But now I need to make sure that everything is in the correct format, which it already is. But anyways, and then I start going by the amount of damage together everything is. So, this is 30 damage, this is 10 times. This is, 30, and then there's a plus, so this is just 20, and then 43, so 30, and then 20 again. And then generally a times would be more powerful than a plus. And then a plus is more powerful than just a number. I generally ignore those. If it's the same, like, if it's like, I don't know, say this had Bullet Seed, or let's say this had Bullet Seed only 10 times, but then it didn't have Shake Vine or whatever, then Shake Vine would cause it to do that because it's 2 moves, and then so on and so forth. Yeah. Anyways, put that down. A bit of a spoiler of what's to come, but, Anyway, so we got Bulbasaur, level 13, 60 HP. It is I don't know, what is the name for each of these types? Because, this is, grass, obviously, but it's also poison and bug type, or also fall under there. Anyways, number 1, Seed Pokemon, has a height of 2 feet and 4 inches and a weight of 15.2 pounds. So actually, I don't know, I don't think I read all that stuff in the first opening thing, but I'm going to from now on. Just because, well, I guess cataloging purposes, because part of the reason I record videos is, when I'm dead, that there's at least something, a reminder of this, 1,000 of years later. Assuming YouTube survives that long, and, they don't just destroy all the old videos, which is probably going to happen, but let's pretend like it's not going to. And let's live in ignorant bliss and think that anything that I'm doing right now is worth anything, which it really isn't, but, yeah. Anyways, so it's more closer to how I read Pokedex entries in the actual main series. Anyways, it's got Tackle, which is 1 energy and does 10 damage. It's got Vine Whip, which is colorless, and then a Leaf energy and does 20 damage. But for some time after its birth, it grows by getting nourishment from the seed on its back. It's illustrated by Noya Kimura. It has weakness to fire, which adds 10 damage to that. It has no resistances. and it requires an energy to retreat, and it's from copyright 2009. So I'm just going to say the card's from 2009, because presumably that's how that works. And then I'll just put it like that, I think, for now. And then when the stacks get too big, because I have quite a few cards, then I'm going to eventually put it back into... Oh, I say eventually. Like, as soon as, I'm not busy with other more pressing issues, just put everything back into his book, and then... stuff will get moved out of book. And at some point when I get, open new cards and add new cards to my collection, but past that, it shouldn't, everything should stay mostly safe. Theoretically, if I want to, I could just get rid of all these, because, they're on video. Technically, it's the same as always having them, right? Right? Yeah. Anyways. Those are level 14, 60 HP, Leaf, same. I'm not going to read the, status info under that again, but Shake Vine, which I don't understand what this energy is. It's like mud energy. I think you can do it without energy, and that's the thing they did for a little bit amount of time, and then I think they might have stopped. I don't know. But anyways, no energy, I'm going to assume, I think I read that in one of the playing cards. Because here's the thing, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, that's actually facing the wrong direction a little bit. I have never played the actual Pokemon card game. I've never used these for battles ever. I don't even know anyone else who has cards anymore, really. Especially in college. These are mostly just relics. Yeah, most of these are actually just relics from, 2006, 2007, 2008, when I actually collected a bunch of cards. Because I actually collected cards before playing games. Back in 2006, I think, is when I started. When I got my DS Lite. And the major reason why I got, Mist Redundant, thank goodness, and stuff like that, was because, I, collected cards. But anyways, sometimes birth, it grows by getting nourishment from the seed on its back. I don't think it's always the same little information, but it might be. I don't think it normally is, though. I think it's a mix of various Pokedex entries, depending on what year it is. Anyways, weakness to fire again, plus 10. Color retreat cost. This one's illustrated by Koike Setoa. I apologize for saying these all wrong, I'm sure. And then it's from 2007. So they don't say what series it is, so I don't know. And then this is a bit of an older one, as you can tell, because it suffered some water damage. I think this is a card from my old friends, they sometimes, I know they got their Game Boy Micros destroyed because they left them in the pocket in the wash. So, I think the similar thing happened in their cards, and I just found, 30 cards just sitting on their doorstep one time. Because, they just threw them out. On the doorstep, you would have thought it'd be thrown in the trash, but I guess to each their own. So this is a Bulbasaur, obviously, 50 HP, Leaf Energy. It's basic. And it's illustrated by Hojima Kozajimi, I don't know. It's got Ram for 1 energy, the 10 damage. And it's got Gouge for 1 leaf and then 1 energy for 20 plus. You might notice that a bunch of these things are not actual moves. Which I actually do like that it's all not, Growth and Vine, both are moves in natural Pokemon. Yeah. But anyways, what am I saying? Poison. Oh, I think actually Poison got moved from Psychic to Leaf, I think. Because, we'll get into that. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 damage plus 10 more damage, so you can make it do 30. It has a weakness to Psychic. Actually, now that I think about it, that might not be the case. Poison might always have been in Leaf. And Psychic, because, Bulbasaur is a poison grass type. Maybe. It is, yeah, but in this world, it's just a leaf type, I guess. No resistances, and a retreat cost of 1 energy, and this is from 2004. And then we got another Bulbasaur, 50 HP, leaf. Thank goodness for this Charizard card, because actually that's as far as the video goes up. Anyways. Just because I have my you know, papers again. You can probably see in the corner, probably annoying people, just so that I can, not like, I'm, Bulbasaur, 50 HP, and you can't see it, so, just again. Bulbasaur, 50 HP, Leaf Energy from, illustrated by Gamer Himeno. Yes, my excuse is it's kind of hard to read from that distance, And it's got growth for 1 energy. Attach a Leaf Energy card from your hand to Bulbasaur. And then Vine Whip for a Leaf and a colorless energy. For when it says colorless, I do believe that means you can use any type of energy. I'm pretty sure you don't need an actual colorless energy, because those exist. We'll see eventually when I go through the energy cards. But yeah. Vine Whip for 20 damage. It has a weakness to fire, and it requires any energy, I guess I should just say, energy to retreat again. And it's from 2006. You guessed it, another Bulbasaur. 40 HP Leaf. That's kind of a scuffed one too. Very scuffed, actually. Interesting lighting. Illustrated by Midori Harada. It's got Bite for an energy that does 10 damage, and then Razor Leaf for 20 damage for a Leaf and an Leaf energy and a normal and any energy. So your weakness is Psychic again, and it requires an energy to retreat. No resistances. And 2006. No, 2005. That's how badly scuffed it was. Oh, you can actually really see. You can kind of see the scuffs. Yeah. Bulbasaur. Now this is where we get into the older cards. I think, is this a real card? This might not actually be a real card. I hope that, actually not a thing, but I hope all the old cards I got aren't actually fakes. I don't know, because here's the thing. There are quite a few cards in my collection. Yeah, I think this is actually fake. Nah. Now that I actually kind of know what... Because the border looks a little bit too thick, and the back of it looks a little bit too, bright. Like, the red looks a little off. So, I think this is a fake. Oh, yeah, and it's not even either. Yeah, this is definitely a fake. I'm not going to throw it out, but, I really hope now all the 1995, 96, and 98 cards that I have aren't actual fakes. Because I know I have that Poliwrath that I actually specifically saw in like some like, how to detect Pokemon card fakes, because I don't even know why I was watching that. Because, I don't actually watch anything with Pokemon cards at all. But, yeah, so that's a shame. But, 40 HP Leaf, Bulbasaur, Seed Pokemon. Is the length the same? Well, that doesn't help. I don't like how some of the, like from 2000 to 2006-ish, I think, they just didn't show off, the Pokedex entry stuff and all that jazz, which is really annoying. But, yeah, so Bulbasaurs weigh 15.2 pounds now. Back in the day, apparently they only weighed exactly 15 pounds. No more, no less. Anyway, his Leech Seed for 2 Leaf Energy and less all damage. When this attack is prevented, you may remove 1 damage counter from Bulbasaur for 20 damage. And then has a weakness of fire, no resistance. And I do believe when it says weakness to fire, that just means fire does double damage to it. Which basically means unless you're doing literally, if you only do 10, unless you do only 10 fire damage, I think you can knock this thing out instantly. With, 20 fire damage or anything about that. And the retreat cost of an energy. He was planted on its back at birth, thus the plant spread and now grows with his Pokemon. Level 13, number 1. So they did the levels, maybe. Back in the day as well. And they just stopped. Illustrated by Michiro Arita, and part of the 1995, 96, and 98 things. I really hope I don't end up spending like hundreds of dollars on fake cards. And then we got our first movie card thing, which I don't even know why I have these. Pokemon, obviously. Number 1, Bulbasaur. It's got a bunch of stuff. Bulbasaur number 1, type grass. Description: a strange sheet is planted on Bulbasaur's back at birth, which rests on a plant. The Toad-esque Bulbasaur makes up for lack of size with a will of iron. They're trained by someone like Ash. This Pokemon's confidence and ensnaring vine abilities make a powerful ally. In Bulbasaur in the Hidden Village, Ash finds Bulbasaur to be very tough and extremely difficult to capture in the wild, but Ash finally captures it with great persistence. Good for him. First appearance... It's Topps cards, apparently. Experience, Episode 10, Bulbasaur in the Hidden Village. I don't think, unless people really want me to collect Topps cards, I guess. I don't even know if those still are a thing. Because I mentioned I have a couple, I have like a single booster pack of Topps cards in 3rd gen, assuming those actually survive the loss of Book 3. But, who's that Pokemon? I do believe that is Nidoking. Hopefully, I'm right. Because generally, I think I can know, every Pokemon before 4th gen, with 4th gen included, and then before, I should be able to identify most of them. Anything past that, it's kind of a toss-up, you know, like 7th gen. Well, 7th gen, I'm slightly better because, you know, I've actually played Ultra Sun all the way up to quite far. Or rather recently, like a couple months ago. So I should be mostly familiar with most of the Pokemon there that aren't like Ultra Beasts. And then, and then 6th gen was also really short. 5th gen is, you know, the point where they tried to redo Pokemon, I'd say. And that kind of didn't work out, except it kind of did, because didn't it have, like, more sales than Red and Blue? Speaking of, I will be playing Blue soon, actually. But anyways, that's going to be it for this episode, though, so that's going to be it for this Why didn't I do the same thing in the first one? Just repeat it over and over again, though. So, enjoy this video, you know what to do. See ya!